Hey everyone. So, you spent your entire career saving and investing for retirement. You did the hard part, but now the game completely changes. Today we're going to talk about the other side of the mountain, turning all those savings into a smart, tax-efficient income stream now that you're past 70.
Right? I mean, think about it. For decades, the mission was simple. Put money in. But now the big question is, how do you take it out? A great savings plan without an equally great withdrawal plan is kind of like building this amazing car, but forgetting to install the ignition. So let's figure out how to turn the key the right way.
And here's the first big hurdle. The IRS, well, they don't let you keep that tax-deferred money in there forever. Once you hit your 70s, they basically force you to start taking money out. They're called RMDs. And the real kicker? These aren't just withdrawals, they are fully taxable income. And if you're not ready for it, they can create a massive surprise tax bill.
So let's start with the absolute must-do, the foundation of all of this. This is the one rule you really can't mess around with. Because, trust me, getting it wrong comes with some seriously painful penalties.
The new magic number you've got to burn into your brain is 73. For most people, this is the age you have to start taking those required minimum distributions from your traditional IRAs, your 401ks, all those accounts. It's not a suggestion, it's the official starting line.
Now you have to watch out for this. It's what I call the double RMD trap, and it catches so many people. See, the IRS gives you a little grace period for your very first RMD. You can wait until April 1st of the year after you turn 73. But here's the trap. If you do that, you still have to take your second RMD by the end of that same year. Bam! That's 2 taxable distributions in 1 year, which can easily shove you into a way higher tax bracket. Timing that very first withdrawal is absolutely everything. Okay, so we know the rules of the road. Now for the fun part. Let's talk strategy. How can we actually manage these withdrawals to keep our tax bill as low as possible? Think of these next few ideas as the essential tools in your tax-cutting toolkit. First up, if you're charitably inclined, this one is a home run. It's called a Qualified Charitable Distribution, or QCD. Instead of taking the RMD, having it hit your bank account, and then paying taxes on it, you just tell your IRA custodian to send that money directly to a charity. The withdrawal still counts as your RMD, but, and this is the beautiful part, it never shows up on your tax return as income.
The pros here are just huge. I mean, you're lowering your taxable income, which can even help lower the taxes you pay on your Social Security benefits. But you gotta know the cons. This isn't money for you to spend, it's gone. So this is really perfect for people who are going to donate to charity anyway and who don't need every last RMD dollar to live on.
All right, tool number 2, the Roth conversion. This is the classic pay the tax now to avoid paying it later strategy. What you're doing is you're choosing to move money from your traditional tax-deferred IRA over to a Roth IRA. Now you have to pay income tax on whatever you move right now in the current year. So why on earth would you do that? To get 100% tax-free withdrawals later and to eliminate RMDs on that money forever.
The big win is creating this bucket of tax-free money for down the road. But the catch is that you're taking the tax hit today. So this requires some really careful planning. It's usually best to do this in years when your income is naturally lower, maybe in that sweet spot after you retire, but before Social Security and your RMDs really kick in. And you have to be so careful about your Medicare premiums because a big conversion can spike those up.
Okay, here's a strategy that not a lot of people know about, but it can be super powerful. It's called a QLAC. The best way to think about it is you're taking a chunk of your IRA and essentially telling the IRS, hey, I'm going to put this piece in a time capsule, I'll deal with it later. You use that money to buy a special kind of annuity that doesn't start paying you until you're much older, shrinking your RMDs and your tax bill all through your 70s.
So the upside is huge. You get tax control now, and you get a guaranteed paycheck in your 80s, which is basically insurance against outliving your money. But what's the downside? Well, that money is locked up. It's illiquid until the payments start, and you can't change your mind. It's a great fit for people who are more worried about managing their tax bracket today and making sure they have income tomorrow.
All right, so we've been talking a lot about cutting taxes. Let's shift gears a little bit. Let's talk about how we can use that IRA money to build a rock-solid, reliable, guaranteed income stream. Something that feels just like getting a pension check.
So, the simplest tool in the box for this is the SPIA. It is incredibly straightforward. You trade a lump sum of your IRA money to an insurance company, and in exchange, they promise to send you a check every single month for the rest of your life. It's the very definition of a predictable, set-it-and-forget-it income.
With this strategy, you're basically trading flexibility for absolute certainty. You can't get that big chunk of money back, and that's true.
but you also never have to lose a wink of sleep over a stock market crash, wiping out that part of your income. And hey, bonus, those guaranteed payments automatically take care of your RMDs for you.
Now, what if you're someone who wants a bit of a hybrid? Someone who says, I want that guaranteed paycheck, but I get nervous about missing out on all the market growth. Well, that's where something like a fixed index annuity with a guaranteed lifetime withdrawal benefit comes in. It protects your principal from ever going down, but it still gives you a shot at some of the market's upside.
So it's all about finding a balance here. You get that downside protection and the guaranteed income, which is a massive peace of mind. The trade-off? There are fees for those guarantees, of course, and your growth potential usually has a ceiling. It's definitely more complicated than a simple SPIA, but it gives you that middle ground between total safety and total market risk.
Okay, our last income strategy is the MYGA ladder. I want you to think of this like building a bridge of income that gets you safely through the next, say, 3 to 7 years. You buy several of these CD-like annuities, and you have each one mature in a different year. This creates this awesome, predictable pipeline of cash that you can use for your RMDs and whatever else, so you never find yourself in the position of having to sell stocks in a down market just to raise cash.
This is absolutely a safety-first move. You know exactly how much money you're getting back and exactly when you're getting it. It totally insulates your near-term spending from market chaos. The downside, of course, is that it's a fixed-rate tool. You're not going to get huge stock market returns from it. It's all about securing your cash flow, not chasing big growth.
Phew! Okay, we've looked at a ton of individual tools. So now, let's zoom out. Let's look at the master strategy. How do you actually decide which account to pull from and in what order to create the most efficient income plan possible?
As a general rule of thumb, this sequence is incredibly powerful for most people. First, you spend from your regular taxable accounts, your brokerage, your savings. This lets your tax-sheltered accounts keep growing without interruption. Then, you start tapping into the tax-deferred accounts like your traditional IRA. And you always save the best for last, that beautiful, tax-free Roth money. Why? Because every single dollar that grows in there is yours to keep, completely tax-free. So look, if you only remember a few things, make it these 4 guardrails. They can save you a fortune. Number 1, avoid that double RMD trap we talked about right at the beginning. 2, always know how a withdrawal is going to affect your tax bracket and your Medicare premiums. 3, automate things where you can. It helps you stay disciplined. And most importantly, number 4, this is not a set-it-and-forget-it plan. Life changes, and your withdrawal plan needs to change with it. At the end of the day, there's no single magic bullet here. The smartest withdrawal plans don't just pick one strategy and stick with it. They blend them together. Maybe you use a QCD for your giving, you build a MYGA ladder for your near-term cash needs, and you let the rest of your portfolio just keep growing for the long haul. It's all about creating a custom fit for your life.
And that really leaves us with the big question, doesn't it? You worked so hard, and you were so smart for decades building that nest egg. Now is the time to apply that same level of care and that same level of strategy to how you actually use it. Thanks so much for joining me.